Happy time, people. Mark, isn't that the way Kornheiser ushers in that segment on PTI? Happy time, everybody. It's a happy day for Eagles fans because the Eagles put in probably their most complete performance of the year. I was at the game, Mark. Where did you watch it?
I was at my favorite sports bar, Cigarettes Pub in
Okay.
North Myrtle Beach, because it wasn't local here, obviously.
So listen, I went to the game because a client of mine had a tailgate. So I wound up taking my daughters to the game. However, I haven't sat in the stands for probably 12 to 15 years. I'm a very lucky guy. I know a lot of corporate people. They invite me into their suite. It's a luxurious experience. There's food, there's alcohol, there's bathrooms, everything you need, right? Well, you're fighting for your life up there in the stands. I got to tell you, first of all, I was in section 2. And when I looked at the tickets, I said, well, section 2, that's not too bad. It's only one step, right?
I would think
It's not.
pretty good. No.
Section 2 is the highest point in the stadium. So we took the steps. I almost didn't make it. I almost had to call for emergency assistance halfway up. But it was a fun day and a beautiful day and a great day for the birds.
Yeah, it certainly was. I'm anxious to ask our guest a couple of things about how do you get ready for. I don't understand the people that make the NFL schedule. I really don't. And this is relatively new. This never happened. The Eagles played the Giants twice in the span of 3 weeks. Like what? I don't get that.
Is that kind of weird? Didn't last year? Didn't we play Dallas twice in 3 weeks or something at the end of the year?
But they did. Well, they do. They have Washington again later in the year. It's crazy to me that they're done with the Giants and they haven't played Washington yet.
Yeah.
Like back in the day when I was covering all the time, you would play, your four, the 3 other teams. It was 4 at one time when the Cardinals were still in the division, but you would play them all once early and then once again later on. I mean, I don't know if that's a good thing, but that's why I want to get a coaching take on that because I don't think I would like it if I was a player or coach.
Well, the good thing for the Eagles is they have a bye next week, so it's good for us too because we get to rest a little bit. But let me read a couple commercials here. Then we're going to bring on a Hall of Fame guest. First of all, we record this at Sweet Recording Studios in Mount Laurel. If you're interested in doing a podcast, is a great place to do it. Contact Joe Gangemi at joe@sweetrecording.com. He will take care of you. Citywide Mortgage is another sponsor of ours. Chris Wilhelm can handle all of your home financial needs. Chris can be contacted at 609-234-4304. Great Eagles fan and a great guy. Please contact Chris Wilhelm. Tony DiGirolamo at DiGirolamo Financial. Tony is not only adept at insurance, he's also adept at financial matters as well. Tony can be reached at 609-541-7515. That's Tony DiGirolamo, DiGirolamo Financial. And finally, Adjust Your Sleep Mattress Boutique is located in Marlton, New Jersey. Did you know that sleep is essential to your health and your sleep system is the foundation of optimal rest? If you think your sleep game is championship level, think again. At Adjust Your Sleep, we specialize in men's health with precision, pain-free sleep systems built to boost your stamina, recovery, and performance. Whether you're grinding through the week or gearing up for game day, we've got custom mattresses for every budget. Change your mattress, change your life. Call Kelly at 856-357-3640 and take your sleep to Super Bowl status. And finally, Jersey Man Magazine, which, as you know, is my company. Mark, we're proud to have you as a contributor to that magazine. We've got our big gala of the year, charity gala, Unmasking the Legacy, November 13th. Tickets are available. Go to the website, jerseymanmagazine.com. We're actually expecting a sellout this year, Mark, 750 people. We're going to pack in the ballroom at the Bend. We're going to raise a bunch of money for charity. There are tickets still available, so please contact us and we will take care of you. Now, I want to bring in our guest because he is responsible for me sitting in this chair, actually. He took a shot with a rookie free agent tight end back in 1980 with very little football experience, probably as raw as a rookie can get because I didn't play high school football at all. But he brought me on the team. He gave me a chance, and it turned into a 4-year football career. And we're happy to have the Hall of Fame coach, Dick Vermeil, on with us. Coach, welcome to the Bird Brains with Ken and Mark.
Hey, thank you. Nice to. I'm down in Key West. Sorry for the problems in getting hooked up here.
That's all right. We accomplished it.
We accomplished it.
That's the main goal. So, Coach, you're down in Key West. Go ahead and start by telling the story when you go down there every winter because your daughter has a place down there. I think you're at Sloppy Joe's. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And another Eagles coach had just gotten fired and comes walking in the place. Why don't you relate that story?
Oh, you're talking about the Chip Kelly meeting
Right.
here in Key West a long time ago now. Yeah, we were down there. We're usually down here the last week in January and most of February. And of course, the season ended and he was released. And I walked into a place with some friends, and there's Chip Kelly sitting at the bar, and had a nice visit with him. I always liked Chip.
So do I.
I never had to work for him or be coached by him, but I always respected his football knowledge and how well he did those first couple of years with the Eagles, and has done some good things since. He's struggling at the Raiders right now, but I always enjoyed him, and it was a very interesting, fun evening. I spent about 45 minutes to an hour with him. We laughed, we joked about Philadelphia. He really loved Philadelphia. He was just maybe a personality that didn't really fit, sort of aloof in many ways throughout the building and even in the media. But, he had proved he was a good football coach before he ever got there.
Sure. Or he was great success at Oregon. And I'll tell you. Go ahead.
You have a couple things in common. You both coached the Eagles and you both coached UCLA.
Right. He did a good job at UCLA.
He did it the other way. You did.
They got blasted by Indiana.
The other way around, but yeah, he did well.
I'll say this about Chip. Coach, the Eagles organization can be a little funny depending on who's heading up the coaching and the regime. I remember going to an alumni event, and Chip Kelly, they kind of had us sequestered off to a side, roped in, like cattle a little bit, not letting us go anywhere. And Chip Kelly saw all these guys, like, I was the least known name in the bunch, but Harold and a few other people were there. And he said, take down that rope. These guys can go anywhere they want, which was really cool because we got to walk on the practice field and listen to what they were doing. And I always appreciated Chip for that. It didn't end well for him here, but Coach, were you able to watch the Eagles game yesterday? And what did you think of that performance?
Yeah, great excitement. Yes.
Mm-hmm. What'd you think of the rushing attack? Two running backs getting over 100 yards rushing. That's really rare in today's football.
Well, that's good. And the Giants weren't very good on defense, but the offense, I liked how they handled a problem of not being able to run the ball by putting the quarterback under center and the tailback in an eye position, and then running plays from the eye, because you don't have to block everybody when you're eye and you have a great running back. He'll find a place to run, especially about our line. Not what it was, but it's still darn good.
Don't you think that formation adds to the effectiveness of play action?
Oh, no question. It's absolutely. Sometimes, I'm old fashioned. Every NFL rushing record in the history of the league is held by a running back running out of the I formation. And they didn't worry about how many guys in the box and all this. Sometimes we get too analytical and let the game be more physical and give the ball, keep the line of scrimmage clean, and give the ball to a great running back. Believe me, when Wilbert Montgomery had big games, we didn't block everybody. But he was deep enough and he could find a place. Priest Holmes did it as well as anybody I've ever been around. He scored, 48 touchdowns in 2 seasons, running the football. So, I'm glad. I think every year it seems that it takes them a little while to re-identify what they are this year. And I think maybe they learn some lessons in a positive way, and they'll get better.
And people forget it's a new offensive coordinator calling plays for the first time too. So there's a learning curve there as well, right?
Yeah, but you don't get paid for a learning curve.
Yeah, I get it.
Scoring points, and right now they're not efficient offensively. That's my concern. In the last 4 games, they're the last in the NFL in third down conversion percentage. And that's putting too much pressure on a defense that's not as talented or as good as they were last year. And I think when they improve that third down conversion ratio, they'll become a better offense than they were yesterday.
That comment you made reminds me of something you said years ago. You talked about potential, and you said potential is a nice way of saying you're not worth a shit yet. So Coach is he would never sugarcoat it. That's for sure. Mark, what do you got for Coach?
Well, a couple of things. I don't know if you're aware of this. Nick Sirianni now tied you for third most wins as an Eagles head coach.
Yeah, well, that was not a real challenge. We those first couple of years were very,
Yeah, I was
very
gonna
tough.
say,
But my
yeah.
first 2 years in 3 games and 3 teams rather, we won 34% of our games. Thank heavens for the third year where we won 73%. But you know, rebuilding a football team today is different.
All
I
right.
think it's you can't coach the young kids that aren't quite good enough to become better as much as you'd like to anymore. It's tougher on a coach. You depend more on your personnel department and general manager decisions than you used to. So, fortunately for Nick, we have the best general manager in football, in Howie, and he gives him good talent, and he's taking advantage of the talent.
Well, you didn't have many draft picks when you got there either.
Didn't have any. Didn't have.
Well, you had Berge and you had
First,
Ken
second, or
Walters.
third, or second year, and didn't
Yeah.
have a first or second my third year. So
They had traded him away.
that's tough. But at the same time, you had time to develop kids like Ken Dunek. You had time to keep kids in training camp and help them become better football players. You just don't have the time anymore.
No, and you have to win now.
Yeah.
You might have gotten fired after that second year back then. I mean, by today's, coaches get fired crazy now. They go after a year or two.
I'll tell you, I followed it up to a year and a half ago. There were of the 429 coaches that carried the title head coach, even sometimes just interim head coach, 29.8% of them were fired the first year after the first season.
That's crazy.
There's no more 5-year plans or any of that, right?
Oh.
Let me ask you about what I said to Ken prior to bringing you on. I thought the schedule was crazy this year that you play the same team twice in 3 weeks.
That's not unique. That's not unique.
no?
That
Okay.
happens to all teams. Yeah. When you're the home team and you really like a team more than you do the other 31 teams, you analyze the schedule a little bit more.
Okay.
But I think it was an advantage to play the Giants
Okay.
because they don't forget what happened 2 weeks ago.
Do you bring that up during the week?
Motivation there, and the Giants really weren't that good that day, and the Eagles helped them look that good. And now they really showed what they were yesterday. And I think you go into your bye week with positive thoughts. The coaches will clean up some things, and like a year ago, they'll come out of the bye a better football team than they went into the bye.
Mark, you had mentioned Sirianni, and along those lines, I think this is on the same page that you were reading that other stat from. Do you know he's the third best winning percentage of all times with coaches that have won 50 games? Only John Madden and George Allen are in front of him. So, Coach, what do you say about a guy like Sirianni who comes from a Division III football program, cuts his teeth in coaching at Division III, works his way up the hard way to get into the NFL, and then having the success as a head coach? I know you got to love that because I know you love guys that pay their dues.
Oh, yeah. I like people with a background. I think it gives them a better perspective in handling the players because they've handled all age groups, and they form a little deeper philosophy based on experience of all age groups. And, I think it helps them become a little better leader and more instinctive in their responses to different situations, positive and negative. Oh, I think it's a big advantage. Yeah, I think it's a real big advantage. But in today's world, the young coaches are at disadvantage. A team that's been losing, so they fire the coach, they hire a coach, and he has the same limitations or same disadvantages everybody else has. I mean, he can't work his team more than the teams that have already been beaten him. He has to work within the same schedule that created losing for the team that they just taken over. There's in the old days, you may not have as good a talent starting out, but you could spend as much time as you wanted to develop them. You can't do that anymore.
Coach, what do you think about coaching in today's world? First of all, with this NIL money, and basically you're signing players to 1-year free agent contracts every year as a college coach. And if you look at, you talk about the pressure of winning in college, there's what's his name? Brian Kelly just got let go at LSU. They own $59 million. Franklin the same way at Penn State. These programs are walking away from all this money. To me, it's you're chasing good coaches out of the game. Nick Saban, I'm sure, would still be coaching if it wasn't for this. I know it kind of chased Jay Wright out of basketball, who's a great man and a great coach. What are your thoughts on all this NCAA stuff?
Well, I agree the players should make some money. I don't think they should be making what they're making today. And I think it ought to be centrally organized through an organization that controls it for all the schools. Uh, because eventually there's going to be about a dozen schools that win. Okay.
Mhm.
I think it's helped a lot of schools, the Vanderbilts of the world in these schools, Indiana, and these schools all of a sudden develop football teams and help coaches become better coaches because they have the money to pour into it in this modern system. But I just think it needs organization and structure
Mhm.
and a committee. I would be all for getting Nick Saban and a few of the top coaches that have retired and organize a program how we reimburse players for the contribution they make to the university. It used to be, and I always thought the scholarship that they earned to play was worthy of their talents on the field.
Mhm.
But obviously, that is not enough anymore. And
Right.
so, and the amount of money some of these kids are making, and I have some experiences dealing with that, and I know former coaches of mine that have grandchildren that are being recruited, and they're not being recruited on their GPA or what they want to major in and
Yeah, right.
where they want to live. It's strictly how much money they're going to make.
Something hit me yesterday, Coach, as I was sitting in the stands in the 220 level, and you could see the game so perfectly from that vantage point. And I was just wondering, from a coaching standpoint, for me, having seen that perspective, I would want to be upstairs. But as far as you were concerned, as you were working your way up, were you always on the sideline, or did you ever get the bird's eye view?
When I was a coordinator, I was in the press box.
Mm-hmm.
I was the head coach. You got to be on the field.
Mm-hmm.
But, I agree. I like the coordinators to be in the press box.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I had Mike Martz in the press box. I had Al Saunders in the press box at Kansas City. I think they see that. Plus, they have all the information out in front of them, rather than just a game calling card in front of them. And but there are a lot of head coaches calling their own offense, and they're the guy at Green Bay does a great job. He proved that last night in the fourth quarter. Okay, and those kind of things. And he's calling it from the field, but he's also the guy that put it together all week. So sometimes you don't even have to look at your cards. Sometimes the best game you call is when you don't look down.
I'll tell you one thing that I saw from that vantage point is Devontae Smith is one of the best runners I've ever seen. He was just schooling those guys yesterday. I mean, he was making moves. They were 6 or 8 yards away from him. There was nothing they could do. Mark, did you see the same thing?
I loved him at Alabama. I loved when the Eagles took him. I still can't believe that Dallas allowed the Eagles to trade up to get him, because the Giants were going to take him. There was no doubt in anybody's mind that he was headed to New York. And then the Eagles and Cowboys, the Cowboys, Giants, and Eagles were picking in consecutive order. I think it was 8, 9, 10, or 9. I think it was 8, 9, 10. And then the Eagles gave the Cowboys a 3rd round pick to move up. They took Smith. The Cowboys wound up getting Micah Parsons anyway at 10, but then the Giants were the team that they probably should have taken Micah Parsons, as it turns out, but they traded the pick and let the Bears come up and take Justin Fields. But no, I love Devontae Smith. I was going to say, he's not as big or as strong or as physically talented as A.J. Brown, but I think he's a better wide receiver, just a better football player. And I mean, I could be wrong there, but because he does everything right. He has great hands. Like you said, he runs great routes. He gets open. He's one of my favorite players.
Well, the key to reception is separation.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the big physical guys don't separate real well, but they're more physical, so they catch the ball anyway. And that's Brown, And Smith, my gosh, he separates and he catches the ball. He's a splendid splinter. How he stays healthy is a tribute to him and his toughness and his off-season conditioning. I'm sure everything they do, but they've done a great job with him, man. He's a better player than I thought he would be. He really is. I always thought initially he was just another real good player. He's developing into a great player.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that said, I mean, Ken, you started by saying you thought this was the best game the Eagles played this year, and you're probably right. I mean,
the best complete game, yeah, I thought so.
And
5 sacks on defense,
2 for 3rd down conversions.
Yeah, that's good.
Just can't dump it on a defense. Fortunately, they dumped it on a team that's very average on offense. But you do that when you're striving to get better, it's going to catch up with it. And I really believe that by at the right time, and Vic will solve any problem he's got if he has the personnel to solve it with. But he doesn't have the same guys. He's minus a corner right now. Our pass rush sack percentage is way low from what it was a year ago and ranked low in the league. So they've got, the key today is pressure on the quarterback. And sometimes I like pressure on a quarterback more than I do a sack. He can't throw an interception when you sack him. Pressure, you create turnovers.
Where does Jalen Hurts fit in your all-time Eagles quarterbacks? You know, you've got Snead, Jurgensen, Ron Jaworski, Randall, McNabb, Jalen Hurts. He's making quite a case for being the best one ever, isn't he?
No question.
Yeah.
I don't know how many years I've said it in a row. He has no limitation. The only limitation he has is the game plan and preparation. Believe me. What can't he not do? Okay. I don't know what he cannot do. Right now, the third down conversion, I can't believe it's his issue. And more often than not, that the overall coordination of what you want to do on third down. And people, either the defenses are great on third down, or we're just not getting our plan put together well enough to be more efficient. It's got to improve.
Well, yesterday he was 15 for 20 for only 179 yards, but 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. He doesn't turn the ball over. He's very elusive back there. He gets away from the pass rush. And so physically.
What does he not do?
That's what I mean. But
114 quarterback efficiency rating. We used to think 85 was a good quarterback. He does not turn the ball over at all. He's number one in the NFL. Yeah, not turning the ball over, throwing interceptions.
And that was his problem early on.
There's nothing he can't do. Who throws a deep ball better? The hardest ball to throw is the deep one on a consistent basis. I'm disappointed when he misses. He doesn't do it very often. He spoils you.
Yeah.
But from a personality standpoint, he seems to say all the right things, both before the game and after the game. He's a very humble young man. He's the son of a coach. Obviously, he's been brought up the right way. I hope Eagles fans appreciate what we have with this young man, because he's truly special.
Well, you know the Eagle fans. They're very compassionate, very intense. But I think once they 100% buy in, then there's no way they'll ever give up on him. And I think he's at that point right now. I really do. You can't ask him to do any more than he's doing.
I've always said the Eagles fans are great if they think you play hard and care as much as they do. And if they get that perception of you, they're in your corner. Hey, listen, from the stands yesterday, I'll tell you this. What a tragedy that Scatabo did that to his ankle. The Eagles fans gave him a standing ovation. He was walking off the field.
And he deserved it.
It was amazing. And, there were Giants fans circled around the area I was in, and there was no problems, catcalling. I mean, the Eagles fans, for whatever reason, get a bad rap, but it was really fun.
Well, it's a little different than it used to be.
The vet was a different place.
A lot of that was different than the
ticket license, I don't think. So it changes. But they're really, you sum it all up, every city says they have the best fans. It's a good marketing tool to say that. But really, I think the Eagle have earned the right to be considered the most passionate, compassionate, intense fans in football.
Coach, go ahead, Mark.
I think the big story now is, like you said, they scored whatever many points, and they looked good on offense, and they ran the ball well. They did it without A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown did not play yesterday, and they were only 2-2 in games that he had missed prior to yesterday. There's lots of rumors flying around. The Eagles are saying there's stories that The Athletic, Diane Rossini, had a story saying that AJ's not happy, and the trade deadline's coming up. Do we think he's going to be an Eagle after?
It's getting very, very hard to trade a player, Mark.
Yeah,
salary guarantees and all that kind of stuff. It's tough, Tennessee let it go for some kind of a reason. Why would you let your best receiver go?
Okay. They didn't want to pay him.
Oh yeah. Plus, maybe they didn't think he was worth it because of an attitude. Yeah. But anyway, he's a great football player, and I think they've done a lot better job than I would have handling him. And they've done a good job, and I think that's one of Nick's gifts with this football team. He handles those individuals pretty darn well and keeps them playing. And I think Brown will come back and make contributions to winning. You watch.
Hey, Coach, what's it say to you about the NFL, where the probably the most successful coach in NFL history could not get another NFL job and is coaching college football now? How does that strike you? What does that say to you?
Well, a lot of owners aren't football people. They don't understand what it really takes to win and then win consistently.
Mhm.
Success doesn't perpetuate itself. You have to keep doing a better job the next year. And only one guy, no coach has ever done it better than Bill Belichick.
Mhm.
I say this, sooner or later, he's going to turn North Carolina around.
Mhm.
A little harder in college football because their systems were independent each week. They varied what they do, how to win more specifically each win than more teams did, and especially in the old days. Ken, if you remember, we ran the same things every week and sprinkle little different things in it and disguise
Right.
things. But
Same things, different
they were
formations. Yeah,
more unique each week, and that's a little harder to do with college kids.
sure.
Yeah,
We've only got a
every
couple
week.
minutes left.
But his book is the best football book I've ever read in terms of a leadership book. It's called
Mhm.
The Art of Winning. It's out there now. It's really good. Everybody should read it.
Coach, give us a glimpse as to what it's like to be Dick Vermeil these days. What's a normal day for you, and talk a little bit about your wine business.
Well, I'm spoiled. Be married 70 years here coming up. I'm spoiled. And
Happy birthday to Carol, by the way.
yeah, you bet. But I'm spoiled. I live a very cherished life that the Eagles provided me the opportunity to get it started. And we lost Jimmy Murray, who was the reason I came here in the first place.
Mhm.
But I'm fine. I'm comfortable. I have 11 grandkids. Okay, now 5 great grandchildren. 2 of them are here with me, and that's why I'm in a bedroom out away from the noise. But, no, I'm spoiled. I really am. The wine business is not really good. Never has been. We make real good wine. We have never made any money. But
It is good. It is good wine. That I can attest.
And our wines, the 2023s, will be the best vintage we've ever made.
Mm.
The whole wine world right now in the United States is down. The worst it's been maybe in 50 years. The young kids aren't drinking wine. The older people aren't drinking as much. I'm trying to cover it up, and make up for it.
I was going to say,
Well, I'm doing my share. I can tell you that.
Yeah, we go through quite a bit here in the Eckel house.
Ken, I enjoy being active and having to think and get everybody up one day and have to make this call, do this, make sure this is going right, check in at the taste room in Napa or Egg Harbor with the people that really have the money in the wine business, the Scarpers and Bill Kurtzis, who really is our COO. And it makes you stay active in your mind. And I think that's, as you get my age at 89 years old, it's important to stay active.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we've run out of time. Coach, I want to thank you very much for not only being on this podcast, but Mark, you don't even know this, but every once in a while I'll call on Coach to attend a dinner for us and bring his wine. He's always so gracious with that. And I do my part. I drink probably as much Vermeil wine as anybody in the area. So I'm trying to pay you back, Coach. But anyway.
Some of my best customers are former players. Morton Anderson, number one.
I got to ask both of you this because you guys are better or closer than I am to this. Does it bother you? It bothers me when I see Nakobe Dean, who I nothing against him personally. Seems like a nice player, nice guy. Why is he wearing number 17? Shouldn't that number be up in the rafters?
I asked Ray Didinger that.
Amazing, Mark, you said that. I saw that yesterday, and I said, that number ought to be retired.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, we asked Ray Didinger that question, and his response was he's brought it up. And their answer to him is, well, we can't retire that many numbers. I said, well, you can retire that one, though.
Yeah.
You can retire number 17. I can't, the guy, he's still the leading receiver in Eagles history, right? As far as I'm.
And if he'd have been in an offense today, coached by somebody other than Dick Vermeil, his past, remember, we were more run conscious and all this kind of stuff. And Sid Gilman came in and changed my mind a little bit, which helped us offensively. And then Ron Jaworski grew. But today, at his size and how the passing games are utilized, how do you stop him? You can cover if you want. You just have to be 6'8" to get up to where he is.
Just keep throwing up those jump balls, and he was going to come down with them every time.
But every time I see Nakobe, he hadn't played for all. He was hurt early in the year, so it didn't bother.
He's a good player, though.
He is very active.
He'd be just as good wearing 24 or something. I don't know.
I'm pleased that a good player is wearing a good number.
Yeah, true. But he's a linebacker too. That bothers me as well.
Well, Coach, thanks so much for being with us. When you come back in town, I'm going to take you to a nice restaurant, and thank you for all the kindness you've shown me over the years. And Mark, always great to be with you. We've got a bye next week, so we are off. The Eagles play the Packers at Green Bay the following week, which should be a really good game. Then they got Detroit, Dallas, Chicago. It's not going to get any easier for the Birds, but
How about that, Kenny? How about that Dallas thing? Excuse me for interrupting. How about that Dallas thing? It shows you what a coach can do. That offense, number one offensive football right now.
Yeah.
Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they can't stop it.
DNA.
Right.
Yeah, it was already a halfway. And look at the quarterback, how he's playing.
Sure.
Coaching do make a difference.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, everybody, thanks for being with us. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button or whatever your social media platform you're watching this on. We appreciate, Coach, we appreciate you. Mark, thank you. And we will see you in a couple weeks on the Bird